Greetings, you're welcome to Mailbox. My name is Olawale and I have with me
Addition.
And we're going to be taking a couple of questions as usual all over the world. One of the first questions for today on this particular episode is from Salome from Nigeria. And then she says, I've been married for 7 years and lately money has become a big issue between my husband and I. I handle the finances, but he spends freely without thinking about the future. Every time I bring it up, we end up fighting. He also accuses me of being controlling, and I feel like I'm carrying all the responsibility. I've suggested a budget, but he's not listening. I don't want this to ruin our marriage, but I don't know how to fix it. So Salome asked that question. So do you have a...
Hi, Salome. So from your mail, is clear that it looks like you're carrying most of the responsibility. And when people say this, it means that most of the inflow is actually from you. So what I would advise is that it's looking like, since you guys have discussed severally, the marriage is 7 years. It's not like you guys are just starting. So I would just advise that probably you want to separate the pockets, you know, so the joint pockets where everybody have access to would be different from the savings, such that you'll be able to make proper plan on recurrent expenditure, such as if you have kids, their school fee, or maybe feeding at home and every other bill. So I think you can actually try that and start from there. Then you can now see how it will go on from there, because obviously you said you guys have sat down to discuss this, didn't work. He's fighting about it. He feels you are, of course, because he would feel you're controlling when it comes to issue of money, because you'll be controlling who spends what and what they spend what on. But if you do a pocket such as you have a place whereby you guys have savings that nobody really touch, or except there's something important or something that is agreed upon to spend it on, then you can go there. Then that other account, every other person can be, I think, is a way to go.
All right. So Salome, usually one of the major traffic jam or one of the biggest challenges in marriage is finances. And the moment you can overcome that, it becomes the easiest things to do. One of the most important things about marriages is to know what strengths somebody has and what weakness somebody else has. And you being able to help that person out of that particular situation. So like she says, you've got children who are dependent on you and they won't want any form of excuses, right? Because their life are way more important than some of the things that you are bickering about, so to speak. So is to secure the future of those children, right? Ensure that they have that covering, so to speak, that they are not affected by that particular situation. And ultimately, one of the most interesting aspects is there's no situation in marriage that is too small to bring to God. Because if the man can't see that decisions that he's taking right now will hamper the future, then somebody else has to take the bull by the horn and secure the future for the people. All right? I hope that helps you. And moving on to the next question, it says struggling with weight loss and health. Hello team, I've been dealing with my weight loss issues for years and it's affecting my health and self-esteem. I've tried countless diets and exercise routines to reduce, but nothing seems to work. I've even consulted doctors, but the advice I get is conflicting. I feel hopeless and defeated, and I'm scared of the long-term effects of my health. How do I get back on track and take control of my life. This is from Sarah from the United Kingdom.
Okay, hi Sarah. So you must first understand that you are wonderfully and beautifully made. So I think when it comes to issues of when people say health and self-esteem, the most important one to first of all address is the self-esteem, because that one will bounce back on your health. And then another thing about issues of weight loss is most time people used to think going to the gym is actually a magical experience. So we must always understand that you must give this thing time, especially for females. So body type differ. Now from your story, we don't know if you've given birth or you are still a single lady or you are already going through menopause. You really don't know the status of your health. However, and whatever the case may be, first off, you need to understand that whether you are big, small, fat, short, tall, dark, fair, you are wonderfully and beautifully made. So you must first of all see that beauty in yourself before every other person will begin to appreciate you. And then taking control of your life is not a function of what people say. Is what do you say about yourself? Eat healthy. Let fitness be a lifestyle. Just ensure that you take your mind off the weight of a lot of unnecessary things that actually, are you sleeping well? All these things, just check basic things. And it could go on for some people. So take for example, for the last 14 years, I've been in the gym. I've been a gym rat. However, because I understand my body type, I'm not putting so much pressure on myself that, oh, I need to lose weight in this part of this body. I need to look some type of way. Just give it time. Before you know it, it becomes a routine and lifestyle. Because most times, people consult different people. People come with their ideas. People go on the internet. They read all sorts of stuff. Most people just advise based on what worked for them. Something else might work for you. Try and listen to yourself. Listen to your body. Eat right. Exercise well. Let fitness just be a lifestyle. And ensure that you see yourself as somebody that is a whole. Don't see that is whether your weight loss that will make you increase your self-esteem or lose your self-esteem. So, I mean, Sarah, pretty much that's about it.
So progress in life is not a destination, it's a journey. And one of the challenges people think is that once I get to a particular place, I'm going to be happy. Mm-hmm. And so it's almost like you're deferring your happiness to something else.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a moving target over time. And once it becomes a moving target, you never would reach that particular target as you keep going. So like she made mention, you've got to find somewhere within yourself to be comfortable with yourself, be comfortable with what you have, and gradually do the things that needs to be done. If you've done every single thing, if you've seen consultants and all of those things, in fact, one of the reasons for your weight loss might be your anxiety. The fact that you're anxious about all of this situation is even increasing your hormonal imbalance. And so you need to find rest, first of all, in the fact that either ways, I'm beautiful, I am good, and nothing can stop me. And it's not a motivational conversation because nobody can motivate you more than you will motivate yourself. So whatever the thing is, so to speak, find peace in it, and then gradually walk towards the target of, and be kind to yourself. All right? And then we come to the last question in this particular episode. And this is from Ajiri from Nigeria. It says, stuck in my job. It says, hello, I've been at my job for over 5 years and I feel stuck. I work hard and take on extra tasks, but I'm passed over for promotions. My boss never gives feedback and I feel invisible. Living feels risky. but staying feels like I'm wasting my potential. I don't know if I should keep pushing or look for a new opportunity. I want to grow, but I'm afraid of failing. How do I make the right decision?
Okay, actually, so first you have to actually face your fear and count your cost. So you can't be here and there. You can't be feeling that living is risky and you feel like staying is wasting your time. Then again, one important thing you must understand is that most times it's not every change that is progress. It's not every change that is success. So most people get to a job. You are still within 0 and 5 years, which is still preliminary. It's not like a lot of years. Now you need to do a self-appraisal. You might be thinking, sometimes you might be full of yourself or thinking so much of yourself that you are delivering. And as far as the system is concerned, they don't really see so much value in you. So you first of all need to check that. Because if you don't, you find yourself checking yourself out of a system, going elsewhere, and they are demoting you. So it's important that you first of all know what your self-worth is. And then, make that decision. If you really want to live, I think most times when there's a dilly-dally about making any decision, it's time for you to pray. So most times you don't really need to wait for issues like this before you start praying. Once you are confused about making anything, speak to God in the place of prayer. Whatever you do afterwards, then you are led. So don't do like a chess game, or don't play the game on your head and feel, okay, it's risky on this side, it's safe on this side. Pray about it. And as the Spirit leads, I'm sure God will help you in taking the right decision about what to do and what next about your life.
So the interesting aspect about promotion and finding the right balance between when to leave or not to leave is this. A lot of Christians say these things like, promotion does not come from the west, not from the east, from the south. It comes from God. But usually they don't allow God to actually deal the promotion, because when people feel stuck, it's as a result of two things. One, they are looking at their mates and they're asking themselves that why is it that I'm not making progress? That's one. And if that's the reason for your desire to move, then there is a likelihood or the tendency for you to get into trouble, because everybody's running two different races at different points in time. Number two, if it's the innate feeling, which is that you feel on the inside of you that it's time to move and all of that, then there is something God is trying to point your attention to. So there's a tendency that people want to move, but they haven't learned the lesson on that level. If you change the work, so to speak, you will learn a bigger lesson, which is dissatisfaction, and then you will actually be chased all over the entire place. And that's why you see some people move from a particular job and another job, and in the next 6 months they've moved again, because it feels like a repeat of where they were coming from. So if that's the case, what happens is that people haven't really passed a particular test. And the test is not that you're not good on the job. The test might be things that are character-based, not necessarily even on the job. You can be very good, very brilliant. In fact, you can be the one contributing 90% of all the ideas that leads to growth. But God is trying to say to you that you need patience. Right. And on that job, you need to be able to get to the point where you are calmer and be able to understand that this thing is a collective thing. When you don't pass that particular test, you're going to repeat the class, even though you have been promoted.
Right.
So you can get a promotion, you can get another job, but you still haven't passed the test of, character, which is the real test that God is trying to
so in addition to it, it reminds me of the story of Joseph, So sometimes in life, you just need to understand God's process. Everybody just wants to jump to the finished product. Sometimes God is preparing you for a bigger picture. You must always see the good in every situation and take advantage of that opportunity. So you are in a place that is a workplace, see it as your own business, and begin to see things in the light of, I want to grow, I'm developing myself, I'm gaining experience. Everything that is positive about that work environment, begin to sink it in and see it as God preparing you for a bigger picture. If your perspective is that, you will begin to have a change of heart, and things will begin to move in your own direction. They might even want to move you to another department, and you'll be like the one that will say, you know what, I think I'm comfortable here. So most times satisfaction on a job is a function of yourself.
Yeah.
Because don't forget that, in fact, the hours you spend at your place of work sometimes is more than what you spend at home or with your family.
Right.
So you genuinely need to be happy.
Right.
And that happiness doesn't lie in your boss's hand.
It's in
doesn't
your
lie
hands.
on the company's hand. It lies on your hand. If
Right.
you are working for a person, because the spirit and the mind in which you use, the mindset in which you use to serve someone or to work, that's the same mindset that God will use to bless you. It's preparing for a bigger picture. So see it like a greater good, that God is taking you to greater place. You are not stuck. So change that narrative of staying that you are stuck on your job.
And so thank you for joining us on this particular episode of Mailbox. And until next time, I remain Olawale and
Thank you.